Good evening and welcome to the public hearing for the North Andover Machine Shop Village Conservation District meeting. Prior to starting the meeting, I'd like to read the following statement. Pursuant to Chapter 20 of the Acts of 2021, this meeting will be conducted via remote means in accordance with the applicable law. This public hearing of the Machine Shop Village Neighborhood Conservation Commission will be conducted via remote participation and specific information and the general guidelines for remote participation by members of the public and/or parties with a right and/or requirement to attend this meeting can be found on the town's website at www.northandovermass.gov. For this meeting, members of the public who wish to watch the meeting live may do so on their televisions by turning to Comcast Channel 8 or Verizon Channel 26 or online at www.northandovercam.org. No in-person attendance of members of the public will be permitted, but every effort will be made to ensure that the public can adequately access the proceedings in real time via technological means. In the event that we are unable to do so, despite our best efforts, we will post on the Town of North Andover's website an audio or video recording, transcript, or other comprehensive record of proceedings as soon as possible after the meeting. If the public would like to participate in the public hearings, please email your question or comment prior to or during the meeting to hazanoian@northandovermass.gov. The question or comment will be read during the proceedings and responded to accordingly. Okay. I apologize again. I had some internet problems connecting. Sometimes that happens. Technology is wonderful, but sometimes we run into some issues. So the first thing is we need a motion to call the meeting to order. Justin, Tim,
Call.
Bernie. Okay.
Second.
Thank you. Okay, the meeting's now officially open. The first thing we have on our agenda is an application for a certificate to alter on the property located at 180 Water Street. This will review the replacement of the double hung windows that were previously installed and did not go through the process. So who's going to represent this application? Is this going to be you, Manuel? Manuel, are you going to represent the application for 181? Yeah, your microphone's on mute. Unmute, please. Manuel, you got to click on the little microphone to get it off mute so we can hear you. Do you see the little microphone, Manuel? With the line through it? You know, Bernadette, I think he's having trouble with it. Oh, we lost him now. I think he's maybe having some internet issues as well. All right, why don't we do this? I'm going to make a motion to move to the next agenda item. I need a second to do that. Can I get a second to do that?
Second.
Thank you. So let's go to 158 Main Street. This application for certificate to alter for the property located at 158 Main Street. This will allow for church signage to be placed on the property. Who's going to represent this application? Joe, is it going to be you?
Yep, it'll be me, and
Okay.
I also have Rob Kochakian and Father Stephen as well, but I'll be speaking.
All right. So, and I apologize also because of I usually prior to starting the meeting explain to the applicant. So, because this is a virtual meeting, what we do is there's a share file folder that's linked to your agenda item. So it's in blue when we view the agenda. You click on that, it goes to the shared file. In that, we have your application. In addition to that, any supportive documentation that you've provided us. So if you could, when you're speaking to the application, or in your instance, you had the application, and I think you had a picture in there as well. You have to, so that the folks at home who are following along with us, just indicate which document you're on and what you're referencing.
Okay. But you don't need me to share the screen in this meeting. I'll just reference it, right?
Correct. All it is they have access as well as you do to anybody at home via the website. So yes, all you have to do is reference it.
Okay. Do you want me to step through that then?
Yeah.
To explain what we have? Okay.
Please.
So it's easiest to be described in the supporting documents document. I think it's listed as certificate to alter supporting documents version 1.
Correct.
That's the only other document in there. So so we're St. Gregory's Armenian Church, Apostolic Church. We're right at the corner of Main Street and Water Street, precisely at 158 Main Street. On the second page, you can see a top view taken from Google Maps of a location where we used to have a sign, which the next subsequent picture will show. But from a top-down view, it's on the Main Street side of the main church structure. And on slide 3, there's a picture from about 2007, just when we were starting a lot of construction at the site. And this is sort of the sign that we used to have there. It was made of wood posts, and it was it had quite a bit of weathering, and so it was taken down during the renovation project. And so we're looking to essentially replace that sign, put it approximately the same size sign and in the same exact location, and with approximately the same wording, which you can see, which says St. Gregory Armenian Apostolic Church of Merrimack Valley. So the differences are, so same location, same size. The differences are we're just using a little more modern materials with some more maintenance-free type aspects to it, as opposed to wood. So as is described, we're proposing 7, which is common in some of the other buildings in town, 7-inch square granite posts with a it's high density urethane, but it'll be painted. It's depicted as white with black lettering that you can see in the picture, and it's made of high density urethane material, and it will be on both sides, which the previous sign was, that can be visible when driving in both directions. And the additional picture just shows sort of the cat, the image superimposed on a photograph, which shows sort of the front view from the intersection of Main Street and Water Street, and then the other one shows coming from Main Street heading towards the Dunkin' Donuts, heading down the hill.
So I'll ask the first question, Joe. So and I appreciate the presentation and the material. So it's a nice job with that.
Okay.
Height wise, what is the height of the posts from the ground level?
So that would be approximately probably 65 or 70 inches, maybe right around 6 feet to the peak. I think the main board, I don't have that detailed in the picture on page 4, But page 4
Okay.
shows some of the dimensions of the main sign itself.
Yep.
So if you can imagine, that's about 45 inches, so just under 4 feet of signage in terms of its height,
Yep.
and it would sit probably. Yeah, I'm not really depicting the ground level there too well in this particular picture, but it would probably sit 2 feet above the earth, say, to the bottom edge of the sign, and then it goes up another
Okay.
4. So it's not as tall as maybe this is showing, because this is almost the full height of the 7. Maybe that's. I'm just going to use a quick measurement. Double that. So that's 4, 8. Yeah. Yeah. So it would probably sit. I can get some more details if there's some importance to that, but it would be in the same. If you go to the previous picture, which is on page 3. You can get a sense of scale, I suppose, from that.
So would I
It's
be safe? Would I be safe to assume? And I'm just trying to understand proportionally.
Yep.
So if I look at page 3, your
Yep.
pre-existing sign, and we take off anything above the horizontal bar, those 2 on the verticals,
Yeah.
would that be probably closer to representing, the mass of what we would be looking at, something like
Right.
that?
Right. Yeah. Taking those other, above that
Yeah,
horizontal
above the horizontal.
carrying post. Yeah, we wouldn't have those tall
Because you're
spires.
saying the sign itself is roughly what that sign was in mass, the
That's right.
previous sign.
That's right.
And so other than the graphics, the real change is going from the wood vertical posts to more permanent so that they wouldn't rot. Granite posts, which are pretty consistent with what we've seen around the Machine Shop Village. I'm going to turn it over to the other commission members. My last question I have is though, so in addition to us, have you spoken to the building department about signage?
No, not yet. My understanding was we would speak with you first.
Yeah, because I'm not sure if the church is aware, but the town of North Andover actually, and Bernadette may be able to help a little bit better. But I do know that the building department has its own requirements, independent of our requirements,
Okay.
for signage that they require, and then there is also a zoning requirement for signage that also plays into signage. So in essence, we have it in 3 different places,
Yep.
and not all 3 of those always line up. Just to let you know.
Yeah, so I'll have to take a look at the website if there's any information there, or take a visit to the town hall and talk to the building department and the zoning department to understand any additional requirements.
Yeah, I would just, I mean, if you just,
Yeah.
given we passed this certificate and you're issued a certificate, which we haven't gotten that far, but if that
Yep.
happens, if you talk to Paul Hutchins down at the building inspector down there, he'll provide whatever additional guidance is needed beyond us. So I'm going to turn it over to the commission members. I'll go through
So
Bernie. Yeah,
Harry,
go ahead.
just quick clarification. So Paul Hutchins is the inspector, and he'd be able to point me in those areas for both building and zoning. He'd be able to
Yeah,
wrap.
I'm not sure that zoning would be required in this particular instance. I'm just saying we do have requirements in both places.
Gotcha.
But ultimately, he'll issue you your permit, and
Okay.
so he'll have a good understanding of what, if anything. I just don't want you to feel that if once we give you a certificate, it's a green light. There are just a couple more hurdles that you need to go through. That's all. So Bernie, I'm going to turn it over to Bernie. Bernie, comments, questions?
Right. You can hear me okay?
Yep.
Yeah, good. So I like the typeface. It looks nice and modern. The one thing that jumps out at me, and maybe it's just me, is all other churches that I see have Saint abbreviated, as you did in the sign that fell down. Is there a reason that you wanted to have, and it does sort of stick out to me a little bit. Maybe that's what you wanted, and maybe that's why you did it. Can you discuss why Saint is spelled out in this case?
I guess I don't have a really good answer for you in terms of how we discussed that. It just sort of in our planning and going through some different graphic options that we had, it presented itself that way. I might invite briefly Father Balajan to comment if he has more information than me just not giving you a good answer. But I think either one works for us, and I don't think there's any special religious significance.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll just comment to that. Thank you, Bernie. In general, I mean, Saint being abbreviated ST, is kind of a shorthand. I kind of have a policy in printed materials on our website. Our web address is spelled out, stgregory.org. Email address. Figure it's kind of a formal introduction to the church from the outside. And I guess I would just as much prefer to have it spelled out. If the issue is maybe a symmetrical thing or maybe trying to highlight the name Gregory, maybe more a sort of an issue of alignment, then I'd be open to discussing it. But I just that was sort of my line of thinking, that we should have the full sort of title officially drawn out on the site.
Yeah, I guess my only start, I don't feel strongly one way or another, but my only starting point was there is some feeling that I would have with nothing else being thought about, that this is a replacement for your previous sign where it was abbreviated. And so, and if anybody has a memory of the previous sign, this would, that might be a reason to revive the previous sign with better lettering and better, the better posts. That's all. But I don't feel strongly about it. I'll let others talk about it.
Okay.
Tim?
I don't have any questions at this time. Every question I did have, you guys already covered. I did feel initially that it looked a little tall, but you guys discussed that, and I have no problems with it whatsoever.
How about in regards to Bernie's comment? Do you have a
Well,
position
I
on
understand
that?
where the church is coming from. I think they want some continuity in how they brand themselves, in a sense, where if they're using St. Gregory in their email and St. Gregory spelled out in their web address, I have no issue with that. I think they're better off doing it this way.
Okay, thank you. Justin?
Yeah, I think it looks great. I remember the old sign. It looks similar in size and height. It does look like on the sketch there's a couple little green dots at the bottom that probably indicate where the ground is, so you can kind of get a sense there. And it looks just like the similar height of the old sign, so that's fine with me. And then as far as the abbreviation, I have no problem at all. St. Michael's Church right next door spells out Saint. It's not abbreviated. Also granite post. So I mean, as far as the neighborhood goes, it fits right in, so I think it looks great.
Okay.
Excellent.
Let me just confirm we don't have any comments from the public, and we don't. Oh, we're good. Okay. I need a motion then to issue a certificate to alter based on what's being proposed as is.
I'll make a
would like-
motion.
Thank you, Bernie. I need a second to that motion.
Second.
Was that Tim?
Tim?
Okay. I need to go around and get a vote on this. Rather than just verbally say it because we're on virtual, I'll just go around. Bernie? Yes
Aye.
or no? Okay. Tim?
I
Okay. Justin?
Yes.
Okay. And I vote affirmative as well. So that's 4-0. The motion to issue a certificate to alter has been granted. I will be issuing, Bernadette will be sending out, Joe and Rob, they'll be sending out a certificate once it's been issued, and you'll be getting a copy of that, Joe. And I would suggest you take that certificate. Now, you'll see in the email that we provide copies of that, and we will also be sending copies of that to the town clerk as well as to the building department. So the building department will already have your certificate when you go and speak with them. Once you see it, be issued to you via email.
So that's what I was going to ask. Everything comes via email,
Yep.
not hard copy to the church. Okay, very good.
No hard copies come out to the church. It's all done via email.
Electronic, perfect. Okay,
Okay.
that's great. We
Thank
thank you.
you.
Thank you for your support. And
Yep. Congratulations.
Thank
all right, excellent. Thanks, everybody.
Have a
Thank
good
you, everyone. Good
Bye
night.
bye. Bye bye.
Bye. Good night.
All right, Manuel, can you hear us now?
Yes, I can, sir.
I know some technical problems. Listen, I know I had some myself. So
I apologize to the board. I'm working out of my cell phone here, so quarantine. So kind of bear with me a little bit if you could.
yeah.
My apologies for dropping you.
So I know this was given to you to handle.
Yes, sir.
And so I want to thank both you and who's the Peter? No, Tony. I'm losing.
Mike.
Yeah. I want to thank him for spearheading that and jumping all over it. So I know there was some issues there in the past, but they weren't directly at you. So you're kind of the person who's come in and trying to fix everything and make it right, right? So
Apologies on behalf of Window World for mixing this up a little bit. So
yeah, got a little confused. So just for the rest of the commission, Manuel helped us with Mike to basically try to put all of the information in place that was needed in order to get this application and certificate back into position. So
Very good.
this application is for a certificate to alter at 178, 180 Water Street. There was a series of 8 windows that were replaced. And what has been provided along with the application is some supportive documentation showing the windows now as they were prior to, which we had, but also now installed. So Manuel, can you walk us through the application and what you can provide us now with those supportive pictures that were taken?
So we obviously went and sold a job on the historical district there. We applied for what I gather after everything happened is we did apply for the permit, and the permit just sat there. And unfortunately, windows came in. No fault, it's our issue. We put new processes in place, but we missed that the permit had not come in yet. So we did go and put the 8 windows in.
Yep.
But the prior windows, which was not really red flags either for us, was that the prior windows were already replacement vinyl windows that were there. So we kind of just replaced what was there. And then all this comes about, when I found out that this was done without, first of all, without a permit. So I already contacted the building department, letting them know that. And then, also without your approval. So then, that's when we got everything together and, brought it back to the board, hopefully to get this taken care of. And, my apologies on behalf of Window World for not doing our due diligence before.
Okay.
But, we sent out photos. We marked all the windows that we put in. And as you can see, the other ones right next to it looks the same.
Okay. Well, Bernie, do you want to start with this one? And
So I'm relatively new to the board. I sort of want to hear other people's,
Okay.
because this really is a situation. Is that the right thing to make them look like existing windows in the building, or isn't the idea to make them look like windows that are historically correct in the neighborhood? That's what I'm confused about.
Well, yeah, that's a good question. So, if there were pre-existing conditions there and they were matching the pre-existing conditions, then they're allowed to do that, even though they may not have been original to the building. I mean, we encourage that, but it's not required. In this particular instance, I think they were trying to make all of the windows consistent, because if you looked at the original windows on the front, I thought we didn't. I'm just looking now myself. I think correct me if I'm wrong, Manuel. Did you replace like for like here?
No, we did. So the ones we took out was replacement windows. So the frame, also the vinyl frame from the old window, we took that out and put everything brand new back in. But just the vinyl part of it, we did not touch any wood that would because it was already wrapped with aluminum prior. So basically, we just took the window itself, the replacement window, and replaced it with ours, with more energy efficient.
But none of the frame material and the molding material was all left intact, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
So we actually did this we replaced the window from the inside of the house. So we took the old one out and just pushed the other one to whatever the other one was sitting against.
Okay. Justin, do you want to comment on this?
I mean, I don't have a whole lot on this one. They replaced like with like pretty much, and I just don't think there's a whole lot to talk about on this one, or nothing that's coming to my mind. But it looks good. It looks good to me. I don't think there were no changes made as far as visually. So yeah, I got nothing.
Yeah, I kind of have the same impression that if you driving by the house, it was fairly transparent as to whatever changes may or may not have happened. You would, if you didn't know they were changed, you probably wouldn't know they were changed.
I mean, yeah, I drive by it every day, and I mean, I noticed improvements to the house, mainly painting, but I never noticed the windows even being changed. So yeah.
Tim?
I'm kind of with Justin there. It's if they switched out like for like, and I'm looking at all the pictures, and I do drive by it every day as well. I don't see anything. My only question is just looking through the documentation. I'm seeing the color pictures in an email. These black and white pictures.
Yes. The black and white pictures saying installed Windows.pdf.
Yeah.
So the request was because this application is being processed post installation, right?
Yeah.
So we needed, normally, as you know, we see what is existing condition and what's being proposed, and then we make a decision as to whether or not that's appropriate, and we issue a certificate to alter. In this particular case, since when I spoke with Window World, we're obviously having now a condition of not proposed, but they're already been installed. I asked that we matched up the best that we could. They did have photos that they provided. Not all 8 windows are in the color photos, which were the prior to the windows being replaced. But they did, and I don't know if Manuel did it himself, but Window World what they did was sent somebody out there and identified numerically matching the existing or pre-installed windows with the post-installed windows. So the installed windows document with the 12/21/21, those numbers should correspond to the numbers in the color packet as to what the windows look like now that they've been installed. I
Okay.
don't know if that answers your question.
Yes. Yeah.
Did I get that right, Manuel?
You did.
So what you're looking at the black and white is what it actually looks like right now today. And if you compare that to the color photos, you'll see that they're, as Justin said, they're very challenging to distinguish between the old and the new.
Yep.
You see? Bernie, any additional questions?
No, it seems pretty cut and dry. Yeah.
Yeah. So we want to thank Window World for sort of taking the initiative to provide all the additional documentation and to bring the application up to standard and to make everything correct. So we need a motion. I need a motion. Tim, do you want to make a motion
Sure. Motion.
to accept the certificate to alter for the eight double hung windows?
Yes.
And I need a second.
I'll second that.
Thank you, Justin. And now I'm going to go around and get votes. Tim,
Aye.
Justin,
Yes.
Bernie,
Yes.
and I say aye as well. So it's 4-0. And we will be issuing Manuel a certificate to alter for this, and then you'll be able to then, a copy of that will also be going to the building department and as well as the town clerk. And I'll make sure you get a copy. I'll make sure Mike gets a copy. And once that issues, which it typically takes 2 or 3 days, then you can go to the building department and they'll issue the permit.
All right, thank you very much. Once again, I want to thank you, all of you, for taking your time with this case here. I know it's post installation, so and something that you guys shouldn't have to deal with. So, but we put some stuff in place now to avoid this having to happen again. So,
great. Thank you very much, and have a good evening.
You too.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Okay. All right. Let's go to the next agenda item, which is an application for a certificate to alter for the property located at 52 Clarendon Street. This will allow for a 16 by 22 foot addition on foundation. So in this particular application, the owner of this is Tim. So Tim will have to be recused from this part of the meeting. So you will now, Tim, represent the application, and the rest of the commission will be evaluating the certificate.
Okay.
So if you can, Tim, walk us through your application. And again, just if you're are you going to, whatever you reference, just make
Okay.
sure.
So I do notice that Bernadette has in the application, there are a few other documents attached to that. There's 2 pictures of the house, and there's one of the drawings and a letter from the contractor himself.
Yep.
Okay. So as you can see, it's a 16 by 22 addition going on a foundation. It won't be a basement. It'll just be, I believe they call a frost wall. It only goes down so many feet, and it'll be gravel in that. The first floor will be a living room. Second floor is going to be a master bed and bath. It will be sided, vinyl siding, very similar, if not exact, to the color of the house now. The windows, I actually saw the contractor last week and was able to get a sample of the vinyl, and that matches exactly what we have now. The roofing, same thing. It'll be something similar. With the age of the roof I have now, whatever we put on is new. It'll be similar in color, but obviously there's going to be some difference with the age. And in the pictures you can see a little sideways the page 4. It looks like that's
So
the side.
are you in the document 52 Clarendon Street application? Is that the
Correct.
one? Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah. Just for folks that are following along at home, I just want to make sure. So you're on which page? I'm sorry.
4.
Page 4. Yep.
That's where there's currently a badminton net. That's the side of the house where the addition will go, and that's on the side that faces the park. And if you outside of this document, if you go back into the Google Drive, you will see a document that's just called Screenshot 2.
Yep.
And that just gives an idea of the size and where it is on the property.
Yep. And are you adding a deck in the back there too, proposed?
No, so this drawing was done when I put the deck on about 10 years ago.
Okay.
The town wanted me to have the property surveyed, so I had to do that to put the deck on. This is just something that my bank had asked for, something to show them roughly where the addition is going to be on the property, and I just threw this together for them.
All right. Well, before I turn it over, so help me understand this foundation underneath this structure. So you currently have like a fieldstone
Correct.
foundation that goes around the perimeter of your home, right?
Right.
What are we going to see on this particular addition?
I don't know how high that is. Maybe you can see that.
Well, I mean, I see the footings, I see the structural footings that they're going to build, but what is it, a crawl space? Is it?
Yes.
What is,
Yes.
all right. So is it going to be? Are they going to dig it out and enclose it, or no?
Correct. The only access to it will be from inside the house. They'll either be they're going to break through a window in the existing fieldstone down in my basement now, or we talked about putting in a trapdoor for access to the crawl space.
So then we will have some visibility to between the bottom of the addition and the ground, right?
Correct.
So what is the plan for that? That's what I
There
want.
really wasn't one other than putting some shrubs there, doing some sort of landscaping, but that will just be concrete.
Oh, all right. So you're pouring concrete.
Yes.
And it's not being faced with anything.
No. But like I said, we plan on landscaping it just the same way you see in front of the house.
And how much would that? Let me look now. All right, I'm getting the picture now. I'm just slow. So and then frontage wise, it's the 16 or the 22 across the front of the building.
16.
And you don't know what that exposure is going to be yet?
Only from the drawings that we have in front of us, it looks to be similar, where the siding will come down about, the same height as the existing siding, and then the rest of that will be the foundation.
Oh, he's planning on matching then. Hmm. All right, I'm going to turn it over to Bernie to ask some questions right now. Bernie?
So our this obviously goes before other boards as well, right? So our concern is compatibility with the neighborhood and
And the
how it
structure. Yep.
in the structure, yeah. Yeah, so the only thing I would note is the loss of a fieldstone foundation, which is always nice. But you say it's going to be landscape, so we wouldn't see that anyway. I think you're probably increasing your exposure to foul balls, so I hope you get some good glass there.
Well, fortunately, home plate faces the other way.
Okay. Other than that, it doesn't seem like a big change. Not much change in the footprint. It's vertical mostly, right?
Yep.
And I don't see. I mean, I go past there all the time, but how does this fit into the house next door? And how far away are you from the house next door?
Well, from the side that we're building on, we're really far away because we have the park next to me.
That's true. Yeah, that's right. It really is. That's right. Yeah.
And my house actually sits on the right side of a double lot now.
Right.
So we're far enough away from everything, and we're not encroaching on any neighbors.
Yeah. And you have to go before other boards for this as well, right?
Nope, just this one.
Okay.
The only other, I did have to talk to the building inspector because see if I can get my terminology right here. The setback.
Yeah.
Now, every house in this neighborhood was built prior to whatever the setback is now. So as long as I wasn't going further into the setback,
Sure.
I was fine. That we're building about, I think it's about 10 inches back.
Okay.
So the town was on that end was fine with it, and that was because of that I didn't have to go in front of the any other boards.
Gotcha. Okay. So I don't have anything else.
Okay. And so you I'm just for my own purposes. Are you comfortable with it being poured concrete?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay. Justin?
I mean, it looks kind of similar to another project I know about. So
Really?
Is it facing me?
yeah, it is. It's actually kind of a similar type project. Yeah, the concrete doesn't necessarily bother me if it's going to be landscaped, because we're never going to see it. And otherwise, yeah, it looks like the roof line's going to be a little higher, right? Because it's a 2-story as opposed to 1.5. Is that right, Tim?
Yeah, it's not too much. If you see the left elevation on the 52 Clarendon Street application document,
Yeah.
page 2,
yeah,
you can kind of see what the roof, because the front elevation makes it look like it's a lot higher.
exactly. Yeah, it's kind of.
If you see from the left elevation, you can see that it's really not like that.
Yeah, it looks like it. That's kind of what I was getting at. It looks a lot closer in the left than it does in the front. So yeah, I was kind of.
Yeah.
The drawing just came out a little funny or whatever. Yeah. But yeah, otherwise, yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, the offset doesn't seem to be as high too on the left.
No, because on my house,
elevation.
that's kind of what I thought. Like, we have a 2-story or 1 3/4 where the dorm are similar, and it doesn't look like you can't really notice it when you're standing at the street.
Yeah.
So I figured it was kind of the same situation. Tim, did you have to combine your lots to get this done or no?
No, I didn't even know I had double lots until I had it surveyed, and those documents came up, and just realized because it's on the surveyed property, on the drawing.
Interesting.
Okay. And wait, let me just see. Do we have enough information? Vinyl windows, 6x6 grid pattern, vinyl siding with 6x6 grid pattern, asphalt roof.
Did we touch on the vinyl side? Are you trying to match the color, or what's your plan? Yeah.
And we don't think that that's going to be an issue. When I had the deck done a few years back, we had to put some new vinyl siding on the back of the house, and
Gotcha.
we were able to get an exact match for that.
Oh wow.
So that is the intent.
Great.
The contractor believes that shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah.
And same thing with the windows. We did find see the window people last week, and we were able to get a sample of the vinyl, and it's a match to what I have now.
Gotcha. And actually touching on the windows, what's on the current house is obviously the original window frames, and then are they replacement windows that are?
Yeah, these are vinyl replacement that are all in here. These are all the windows in the house I think they're all Anderson.
Gotcha. And how is the new windows? How are they going to do that? Are they just going to try to match it, like build out a frame, and then I guess I just trying to picture how they're going to do that. I assume they're going to try to get it close to what it looks like currently.
Exactly. They're just trying to keep it, to look just like the rest of the house.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay. That's all for me.
Okay. So we need a motion.
Motion to pass the certificate alter.
Second.
Okay. All right. Then we need a vote. Justin,
Yes.
Barney,
Yes.
and I vote yes too. So 3-0. And we will issue a certificate to alter to Tim, to you for 52 Clarendon Street. And a copy of that will be going to the town clerk. Another copy will be going to the building department, and a copy of it will be going to you.
Excellent.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So our last thing on the agenda, do we have any miscellaneous correspondence at all that we want to cover? Anything that has come up or not come up? Or I think things that, I can give an update, just a brief update. I did meet with, I did get a request from Peter from St. Michael's. The building, as most of you have probably driven by and saw, that the building was taken down, the old brick structure at St. Michael's. I did meet with the gentleman who made the application, Peter Moschetto, because they did have some concerns on several of the trees that we did ask them to keep in place, particularly the 2 giant maples and 1 pine in the front. So I met them at the site because they want to take them down. They feel that they're dead and beyond restoration there. But I reemphasize the concern of it's a broad open space now, that really defines, if you will, between Water Street and Main Street and behind St. Gregory's there. But that's a huge parcel of land that's, between the parking lot now and that side area that's just wide open. And so they are, what they did commit to do is that they are going to evaluate that in the springtime to see what would make sense for them to help put in there and so forth. Not structurally, but maybe some additional new plant. I suggested maybe some new plants, some new growth, and so forth. So they're going to look at what that might look like in terms of trying to help bring that together. So, I mean, I'm a little concerned with that. That's all. I'm just concerned that it's just a wide space. So, it offsets the buildings around it, is what it does, particularly when you look across the street there on Merrimack Street, where the density of those structures are fairly compact, right? And so, then you look across the street, and if you have nothing, you have asphalt, and then you have a big mound of grass, then it'll be, it'll definitely change the characteristic. But I did get a little bit of a pushback from St. Michael's in terms of, not understanding why the church was even in the district and so forth and so on. So, but so that happened. I think that's happening. We haven't heard anything back from the High Street application at all. And I think other than that, I think it's been fairly quiet.
Well, they take pride in that building and that property, so hopefully once they see it and they see that it's kind of
I have no question. I'm not questioning at all, Tim, that they haven't. I mean, they've done an outstanding job with all the landscaping and uplighting and all of the things that go with it. So I'm not. All my concern is that we got a wide open area there now. And if you've driven by there, which I'm sure you have, now that the building's down, it's a pretty good size footprint. So it just it accentuates the the openness of that area, and it's not like it's an open field area. It's like I said, you've got a major stretch there of parking, of a parking lot, that runs adjacent to Water Street. So, it's a big area, and all those houses, those smaller houses on Water Street, those are, those were the homes we're trying to all and your home and Justin's, and we're trying to maintain as much of that congruency as we can. That's part of what the vision is.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, I think it's all positive things. I think great dialogue. I think a strong commitment, and I think in the end it'll all come out good. All right, let's have a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Motion to adjourn.
I need a second.
Second.
Okay. Then the meeting is officially adjourned. And I think right now we don't have any open applications, and we're all caught up at this point.
Excellent.
Excellent.
So, yeah, so we're doing good on this side. Well, everybody enjoy, and hopefully stay warm and stay safe, and we'll be talking soon.
All
Thanks
right,
a lot,
cool.
Eric.
All right, take care.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
Take care, guys.
Thank you, Bernadette.
Thank you, Harry. Let me know what you want to do about the meeting on the.
I will.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.